Lilac sat at her desk, prepping everything she and Capri would need for today's workday. As she was stacking the papers, they heard someone turn on the TV. What was playing on it? The latest 666 news report. Lilac glanced over, but her glance turned into staring in shock when seeing Capri on the news with Katie Killjoy and Tom Trench.
Capri? What are you doing over there?
Her voice sounded worried and surprised as she watched the screen.
Now, there has been this rumor going around, and I just have to ask if it's true that none of you get paid at all over there.
The voice echoed from the TV and just happened to catch the attention of Bullet.
The fuck did I just hear?
Bullet called out, storming into the room where the TV was.
Your actions speak louder than words, Capri copy.
The TV echoed through the news company.
Oh, they are in for a mouthful when they show up here today, I swear to Satan!
Bullet yelled out, his eyes locked on the TV. Bullet stomped to one of the workers to take the remote and turn it off until they heard Capri speak through the screen. Well, Katie, I feel tired. Sick and tired of seeing people like you who climb to the top by doing nothing but lying and deceiving. I am sick of people thinking my life is a damn joke. If you want to make fun of me on live television, fine. But just know, this is a low blow, even for this awful show. Now kindly go and find someone else to pick on. The goat's speech echoed through the whole building.
Capri.
Lilac felt tears building up in her eyes. She could tell that speech was from the heart. It was so meaningful. It even got Bullet thinking.
Capri.
Bullet spoke softly, his voice sounding much more choked up. Bullet began to get thinking about the reputation he would have if Capri had told the truth. His chances of being successful or even getting with that girl he had been talking to, it all would have been destroyed.
Bullet, are you feeling guilty?
Lilac asked, looking up at her much taller boss.
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
Bullet yelped out before running back into his office and slamming the door behind him.
Wow, I had no idea Bullet was such a softie.
Lilac spoke to herself, staring at the door that he had just slammed. Bullet put his back at the door as he began to sweat.
What is she gonna think of me?
Bullet panicked as he thought of the girl he had been talking to seeing that interview. Suddenly his phone rang.
Oh, Lucifer!
He panicked as he looked at the phone to see Valerie, the girl he had been wanting to date, calling him. This was probably about what happened on TV.
I have to answer this, or else she'll think something is up.
He muttered nervously before answering.
Hello?
Bullet was ironically sweating bullets, fearing for the worst.
Bullet, the interview on 666 News. Isn't the company they're talking about yours?
Valerie asked over the phone.
It was about our company, but it's all lies. Other news companies will do anything to make competitors look bad.
Bullet's voice may have sounded quite confident, but on the inside, he was more than afraid.
If you say so. However, I would like to see for myself.
Valerie said sternly.
Oh, maybe some point, but not now. We've got a lot of bad PR going around. It's just not the best time.
Bullet said, fidgeting in place.
Okay, I trust you. I have to go now, Bullet. I shall talk to you soon.
Valerie softly spoke over the phone.
Okay, goodbye.
Bullet said as he hung up, letting out a large sigh of relief. Bullet looked up to see one of his many safes and decided he knew what he had to do. He grabbed it and put it on his desk.
I am a man of my word. Lilac, come to my office, please.
Bullet said over the speaker, sounding particularly calm.
You called me, sir?
Lilac opened the door and flew towards the desk.
Here.
Suddenly, Bullet had placed $1,000 onto the desk in front of Lilac. Lilac looked up at Bullet, and then down at the money.
Is this a joke?
She asked, confused as ever.
Nope. No jokes, no schemes. This is all yours.
Bullet smiled lightly as he looked at the small flying apprentice. Lilac's confused expression turned into a grin as she held the money in her hands tightly.
You're not so bad after all, Bullet.
She smiled as her wings fluttered very fast from all the excitement.
Oh, thank you.
Bullet said as he felt an emotion he had never felt before. Compassion.
Are you going to give Capri some money?
Lilac asked, looking up at him, a twinkle in her eye.
Capri will be getting double. They did just cover for our company, after all.
Bullet had a wry smile covering his face.
Wow, Bullet, you really have changed.
Lilac stopped fluttering with excitement and finally sat down.
I guess you're right.
Bullet had a soft smile before looking up at Lilac.
Lilac, could you help me find Capri so I can give them the money? They called in sick today, and I don't know where to start when I'm looking for them.
He asked politely. Lilac smiled sweetly and flew up onto his shoulder.
Sure thing. They're probably at home. I could lead you there if you'd like.
Lilac watched as Bullet put the money in the suitcase before answering.
Yeah, that would be great. Thanks.
Bullet said as he went out of the office doors and out of the Hell's Journals building.
Taxi!
Bullet called out as a taxi parked in front of them.
Of course, sir.
The taxi driver said as he opened the car door.
I've never been in a taxi before.
Lilac said as she looked over to Bullet.
Don't worry. It's not a bad way of transport. There are far worse.
He snickered as he sat in the car.
Where am I taking you to today?
The taxi driver asked.
The apartment complex on Snake Eye Street, please.
Lilac exclaimed as Bullet handed the driver the money with a very large tip.
Alrighty, sir. Right away.
The driver said as he began to drive off to the destination.
Thanks, kid. Hey, what's your name?
Bullet asked, trying to make small talk.
My name is Jerry.
He replied as he drove to the street.
Well, Jerry, here you go. A little extra for the ride.
He handed him another tip.
Thank you very much, sir. We're here.
The taxi stopped at the apartment complex as Bullet and Lilac got out of the car and waved goodbye to Jerry.
So, this is it, huh? What floor does Capri live on?
Bullet asked as the two walked in.
4th floor. Don't worry, it's not hard to get up there.
Lilac said as she zoomed up the stairs, her wings taking her there quite fast.
Well, some of us don't have wings!
Bullet called up the stairs as he followed behind. A long climb up the stairs later, the two made it to the goat's apartment.
Capri! Are you there?
Bullet asked as he knocked, but no response.
They must not be home yet. Do you know where they could be?
Bullet asked, leaning on the wall. Lilac flew towards the nearest window and stared out.
I have an idea on where they are.
At IMP, Capri was sitting in Blitz's office, feeling nothing but shame for what had happened on the news show.
Capri, don't be too hard on yourself. Most celebrities always make a big scene on TV before becoming famous, so no need to...
Blitz cut himself off when he noticed Capri's third eye filling with tears.
Hey, I didn't mean anything bad by it.
Blitz looked a little worried now. I feel like a failure. I failed all my friends, my work, my everything, Capri said, their voice sounding choked up as they stared down at the ground. Blitz felt himself stare at the goat for just a moment, before grabbing them by the shoulders.
Capri, look. I may make a bunch of jokes and stuff about you, but if there is one thing that is true about you, you work yourself to the bone. You give everything your best shot, and really that's what matters. Not what some news company says.
Capri looked up at Blitz before a small smile came onto their face. I didn't know you had that in you, Capri said in a happy yet sad tone.
There are a lot of things you don't know, but hey, that's the fun of getting to know me, isn't it?
Blitz confidently spoke before feeling the goat's arms wrap around him in a hug. Blitz was surprised for a moment before hugging back.
That is gay, even for you.
Blitz spoke in a hug. I know. Capri smiled in the hug. As Capri got home, the smile stayed on their face. That Blitz. Always so understanding. And egotistic. They chuckled to themselves before thinking about having to go back to work. I can't face Bullet or Lilac ever again. Not after that stunt, Capri said as they got to the 4th floor to find Lilac and Bullet next to their apartment complex's door.
Capri!
The two called out as they approached them. Hi? What are you guys doing here? Capri asked, surprised. There was no anger or disappointment.
We've been worried about you, Capri. Are you okay?
Lilac grabbed onto Capri's arm. I'm fine. What's going on? Capri asked as Bullet approached them with the suitcase.
This is for you.
Capri picked up the suitcase and looked skeptical of it.
Open it!
Lilac cheered excitedly for Capri to see what was inside. When opening the case, they saw exactly $2,000. Is this a joke? Capri stuttered for a moment before Bullet answered back.
Nope, no jokes.
A small smile grew on his face.
You gave me $1,000 as well. He gave you double.
Lilac said as she spun around. But why? I made us look awful on TV. Capri admitted, smiling a little now.
Well, you do put up with my bullshit all the time. And what you said back on the news station really touched me. So it's only right that I give you what you earn.
Bullet smiled, feeling a warmth in his chest. I don't know what to say except thank you. Capri felt himself tear up again, but this time from joy.
You're welcome. You did earn it after all.
Bullet spoke as he began to walk towards the stairs to take his leave. And where do you think you're going? Capri said as they caught up to Bullet.
I figured I'd let you two hang out while I go back home and get ready for tomorrow.
Bullet said as he kept walking. Not without one of these, you aren't! Capri said as they gave Bullet a hug.
Oh, thank you.
Bullet was paralyzed by what was occurring. And what are these? Capri gave Bullet a noogie on his head before running off.
Capri!
Bullet yelled out as he chased them down the hallway. Capri called back as they ran. You ain't such a bad guy after all!